I was muted. Good morning and happy Saturday, folks. We're gonna try and finish this Sacred Stones Ironman today. I was muted. Good morning and happy Saturday, there's gonna be an echo. Sorry, I forgot to mute the YouTube tab. There we go. That's better. Alright. Let's try to finish this Ironman. I think... So we had a pretty rough last chapter. We had about 4 units die. But I believe we have all the tools that we need to finish the Ironman. But I have a couple goals this chapter that I need to fulfill. Here's what we're trying to do this chapter. We would really like Garrick to have S-rank axes, so we're going to try to get him some combat. We're going to try to grind La Rochelle to S-rank staves. And we're going to Hamern our warp. And I think if we do all of those things, then we should be good to finish the run. Do we have a more complete barrier for her? Yes, we do. Or, you know, hopefully. That's what I said last time, and then we lost like 4 units in Chapter 19. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Okay, so let's see. I believe you get tons of deployment this chapter. So that's all fine. If we're able to get Cormag a little experience this chapter, that would also be pretty nice. Actually, the Dragon Spear is not going to do him any good because it's gargoyles on this chapter. But we're going to see if we can get... It would be nice if we could get him to S-rank lances as well, so that we have a Vidofnir user. Is there anything else we want to do this chapter? Hi, Scott. Hypothetically, we could try to grind up Inez's bow rank for... What is it called? Reinflesh in this game? Or Nidhogg. I don't know that that's that important, though. Or rather, I know that's not that important. So what we're going to try to do is fight our way through these guys, giving Garrick as much axe experience as possible. And then we're going to warp to Morva. So the other thing we need to do is just do some quick math on how we're going to kill Morva. And to do that, I need to check the Might of Myr's Dragonstone, because it does not tell you in the game. I want to say it's 16, but I'm going to check, because if you... I just need to know, because she needs to do some important combat here. Okay, it has 16 might, and is effective against the monsters. Alright, so we got Morva here, sitting on 24 defense. So, 16, 32, 48. Is it triple or double effectiveness? Most weapons are triple, however, I know the holy weapons in this game are double. But I think the Dragonstone is triple. But it is important. Yeah, okay, it's triple effectiveness. That's good. Okay. So, she does 16, 32, 48, plus 22. That's 70 flat. Minus 24. So she would do 46. So it's going to have to be a triple warp, because it's going to have to be Myr and somebody else. Or Mer can fly, so we could set it up such that, like, maybe, like, Mer is right here, then she flies in, then we warp someone. But it should be no problem finding 20 more damage. And let me just check, she's not going to double him, right? I'm assuming not. Yeah, she's not going to double him. Alright, let's do it. I don't want that warp patched up. And we want to get this staff rank up too, so we're going to get some barrier spam going. But I think despite our losses in the last chapter, I think we're in a good spot. Oh, thank you, Sequitur. Much appreciated. Get that axe rank up. Try to get Cormag some lance kills. You guys have 22 attack, 21 attack, 22 attack, 20 attack. Into 14 defense, so it'd be 8, 16. 23. Devil Axe for Axe EXP. I don't think we're that desperate for the Axe experience. Man, I really wish when I play old Fire Emblem games that they had the view all enemy ranges option that you get in modern Fire Emblem. What a nice feature. Hey, Haley. What's up, Sacred Stoners? Not much. We're just gearing up for the end of the game here. I think that we're in a good spot. Okay, Joshua has capped strength, so his, we don't really care about any of his other stats, so he's good for the rest of the game. Larachelle should easily be able to barrier spam her way to S staves. And even if she doesn't in this map, she can actually you can just do that at the beginning of next map. There's not that much of a time crunch. Actually, there's basically no time crunch. You're doing good before you head out for lunch? Well, that's good. What are you doing for lunch? It's a stone, Luigi. You didn't make it. Hi, Termina. Hope you're doing well today. You know, that scene was kind of messed up on Mario's part. Why was he trying to, like, shit on Luigi's excitement? Like, Luigi's just trying to be excited about something, and Mario's, like, trying to ruin that for him. Going to Dairy Queen. I haven't been to a Dairy Queen in a long time. Am I gonna have Mer kill her undead father? I don't know if she's gonna do the killing blow. She's certainly going to attack him. That much is for sure. Because Mer is gonna be a Mer is a very important combat unit for us. Then Luigi hucks the stone football at his brother while fully acknowledging it's not official. Wait, well, yeah, because he's mad at him. Because Mario was, like, shitting on his interests, you know? I don't blame him for chucking the rock at his brother. Alright, maybe it's not great that he chucked a rock at his brother, but still, I maintain that Mario was being a dick to Luigi. Okay. Is that Sniper Namey? It is indeed Sniper Namey. We have Sniper Namey, we have a shitload of assassins, and we have a shitload of mage knights. Well, I guess only 2 now, since Loot died. Oh, 3 assassins, actually. Colm, Joshua, and Marissa. No surprise, Lizard killed Loot. God damn it, Morsode. Hey, B-Train. Hope you're doing well today. Hope your Sacred Stones replay is going well. Okay, he is getting that axe experience. You got 0 strength on Erica? Well, I mean, that's like the Erica experience. You expect to get strength and then you don't. Alright, we're gonna see if we can... Maybe we can get... Maybe this is copium, but it's possible we could get Inez to S-rank bows. Without staying on this chapter for an ungodly amount of time. Because we're definitely staying long enough to get Garrick to S-axes. Because that's important. We need that. Boom, 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 ba-ba-dum, boom. Okay. We're gonna put Cyrene here, where she will be in range of the Gorgon, because I want to bait that Gorgon over. 3 assassins, and I'm not sure, like, I think we've seen, like, just a couple silencer procs, sadly. But Joshua's actually been huge in this run. Using Cyrene. Hi, Posby. Well, we kind of have to. Just the way things worked out, we don't have a ton of flyers. Although my potentially hot take is that Cyrene's a little underrated. I feel like people put her in, like, F tier. But she's more like a D tier. Like, you actually want to use Cyrene on a couple maps. You never played Joshua Assassin. Okay, I mean, Joshua Assassin is pretty much just worse than Swordmaster Joshua. But he can still, like, do his job in Assassin. His job being kill things at one range. And have decent boss killing. Alright, there we go. There's Garm. Yeah, Egg Map is a good one for Cyrene. I pretty much always bring her to Egg Map. Nice, good job, Cyrene. I think Egg Map is a big map for her, and when you play this map normally, this is actually a pretty good Cyrene map. Because there's a lot of, like, normally you, like, do some flyer dropping here, or, like, you fly over here. But since we need to grind some weapon ranks, we're not doing that. Have I read the Kyle Cyrene support? Not in a minute. I don't really remember what that one was about. Just make sure nothing else is, like, in range over here. No, so we can have Cormag. Take one of these fellas out. You don't think Vanessa is S tier? I feel like, the thing with Vanessa is, like, I have her as the second best unit in the game, but in a very unglamorous way. Like, her job really is just pick things up and put them down elsewhere. But, you know, she's good at it. Damn, you was supposed to crit. Oh, strength level up, kind of nice. Oh yeah, I mean, her combat's not amazing. But I think the only maps where she has to do combat against, like, difficult enemies, because, like, most of her combat is, like, whatever, you have her go fly somewhere on a map and, like, kill a Mogul or something, right? Like, you don't need good stats to do that. The only maps where I feel like she actually needs some stats are, like, she has to gain a couple points of strength for, Chapter 15, because she needs 8 strength to be able to one-round all of the wyverns with a dragon spear, including Valter. Believe it or not, she only needs 8 strength to kill Valter with the dragon spear. Oh, let me check. There's a Siege Tome on this map, right? Is it you? Yeah. Oh, Cormag's in Siege Tome range. Hopefully he's fine. Base ring and promo would get her there, yeah. Because I believe she's 5 at base, gets 2 from promo, and then just needs to get 1 from any other source. Which, realistically, if you level her to promo, she will probably get 1 point of strength at some point. Were we actually going to do Erica combat? I feel like we haven't done Erica combat in a very long time. Hey, that guy Ty. Hope you're doing well today. But yeah, definitely, I think Vanessa's combat is not particularly exciting. Would I say Sacred Stones is my favorite class system? I think I would. It's either Sacred Stones, Awakening, or Fates. Fates I have, like, kind of mixed feelings on, because there's things I really like about, Fates' class system, and then there's a couple things that I do not care for about it. This might be the first time you've ever seen Sniper Namey. Yeah, we are Sniper Namey enjoyers this time. Alright, let me do the math on if Cormag is gonna die here. He's gonna get Shadow Shot. Suppose he gets hit. He will take 29 damage. Goodness gracious. This guy is going to do 11 damage for him. To him. So if he gets hit by both, that would be 29 plus 11. Yeah. So if he gets hit, he's gonna die. Can I do something about that? We have a rescue staff. Question is, if I rescue staff, can I still do what I need to do up here? Because I have these monsters I need to deal with. Yeah, she only needs 8 strength. Well, it's not so much that Baldur is bad so much as, like, triple effectiveness is a hell of a drug, you know? Alright, so they have 27 attack. So he cannot one-shot La Rochelle. Would she face crit? He has 5 crit. She's got to have at least 5 luck, right? Yeah, okay. So this is fine, and then we can just rescue to get Cormag out of danger. Because I'm gonna want Cormag for the next map, so I'd rather he not die. Your peak reclassing system is Fates. So here's what I like and what I don't like about Fates reclassing. I like the extent to which it rewards planning and the extent to which you kind of have to work for your reclassing options. Like, units can't just by default be whatever. If you want a unit to, like, be a certain class, you need to get them a support partner that, like, makes that possible for them. So reclassing doesn't feel as trivial in that game. However, one thing that I don't like about it being tied to the support system is that it kind of makes it feel like you need to do your supports based on, like, the classes you want, and, like, which is cool from a strategic perspective, but bad from, like, I want to do my cute pairings perspective, you know? Like, I want to do my cute pairings and have it not mess up my reclassing. Pretty sure we have a restore staff. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, Erica definitely feels a little better in Ephraim route because you get to kind of skip some of her issues. But the only thing with Erica in Ephraim route is, like, yes, you get to skip her early game issues, but you also don't get her until, like, she's kind of outclassed by, like, all of your good units, you know? Like, she joins and sure, she's on a horse and she can kill things at one range. But, like, so can every single unit you've been using, and some of them can probably do it at 1-2 range. $32. Just use the wind sword. Hey, we can get it in creature campaign. Okay, what is your actual move? 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this should be a safe tile, right? Yes. You also have 6, I assume. I don't need to assume you're the same class, of course you do. So yes, this is a safe square. She's actually not a force deploy on as many chapters as you might think. I believe the main route lord is only forced in... Is it only endgame? They're not forced in as many chapters as you think. I remember looking into this because I also thought they were forced, but, like, they're actually not forced that often. Speed of 8. Late game Sacred Stone enemies. 8 speed. Video on weapon effectiveness? Maybe. I'd have to think about if I, like, have something to say about it. It could be interesting to talk about, like, the difference between, like, how, like, 2x versus 3x affected things in FE7. But my hot take on that is not as much as people think. I think even if you put like 3 times effectiveness in FE7, bows still would not feel that good. Yeah, 4x would be pretty crazy. I mean, I would say at 4x, you're probably at a point where units are just destroying anything they have effectiveness against. Unless it's like a pretty low might game. Because I remember that was kind of an interesting thing about I played SOV recently. And I did think that was interesting, is that weapon effectiveness did not feel like a huge deal for a lot of the game, because a lot of weapons just don't have high might. So it's like, okay, you're tripling it, but the value that you're tripling is not that high. Obviously, it depends on the weapon. Like, the Rider's Bane was pretty good, but, like, the Iron Bow doesn't have that much might, even though it's flyer effective. See, early game experience I actually find to be, like, fairly competitive in this game. But, I mean, it's just a matter of, like, how many early game units you want to use, right? But for me, usually I want to use, like... Okay, here's a list of units I might want to use in early game in Sacred Stones. Bronze, Vanessa, either Loot or Artur, and, like, just those 4, like, I would say you really only have enough EXP unless, like, if you're going at, like, a kind of like, if you're using Seth, right, to kill things, then, like, I feel like you only get enough EXP to, like, really baby 2 or 3 of those guys. But obviously, like, if you don't use those units, then there's more EXP to go around. So the decision now is mostly just how much do I want to grind weapon ranks and stuff before I end the map. We could get Myrrh a couple levels, just to make her a little more consistent for what we're going to be doing with her in the next chapter. We could try to get Cormag to S Lances. I don't think S Bows is going to happen for Inez. I don't think I care that much about that. But I might try to get S Lances on Cormag for Vidofnir. Cormag's accuracy is being kind of annoying on this map. Like, damn, man, hit something. Yeah, usually my, like, go-tos are usually Vanessa and either Artur or Loot, depending on which I feel like using. And then I use, Kyle as my paladin, generally. Oh, what was that in the promotion video? I haven't watched the mecha video on promotions yet. Probably get to it today after stream. Do you have S staves yet? Nope, but you're almost there. In fact, you will probably get there from this heal. Stream my reaction to it. I feel like I'm probably not going to have like a terribly strong reaction to it. I tend to see the game in like a somewhat similar way to mecha, I think. So probably, I imagine we'll probably agree on when to promote in most games. If Garrick promotes earlier, he can start on his axe rank. Here's the thing with Garrick. I actually think Garrick promotion is kind of interesting. Because, like, conventional knowledge for Garrick has, for a long time, been, like, just insta-promote him. And I think, like, if you just want to start working on his axe rank, like, yeah, you can do that, right? But here's the thing. So, in Erica route, you get Garrick, right? And then in the next chapter, there's really nothing he needs axes for, and there's nothing he needs the 2 points of speed for. So I usually keep him unpromoted for one chapter, and then just let him kill, like, the zombies in like, the top left and going down, because he doesn't need axes for that, and it gives him a couple more chances to hit speed. Because if you want to use Garrick as, like, a main combat carry, you really want him to hit speed a couple times. But his growth is 30? I'd have to check. It's not high. So if you can, like, get him a couple levels before promotion, it's, like, kind of nice. I love these guys having 0 damage on Myrrh. What a unit. Let me think how I want to kill these guys. Just trying to think, like, what are the important things that I'm trying to do. We can try to give this to Cormag. He probably won't get it, but we don't even really need levels on Cormag. We're just trying to get him reps with that lance. Nice. Yeah, Adulma can be a nice option for Garrick. Usually I give Adulma to Seth. And then I have, depending on the route, either Garrick or... why can't I think of his name? Dusel. Use Garm. But Adulma's, like, really good. You fought the Demon King with like 5 units left? That's funny. I mean, the Demon King is interesting because I feel like I would argue that like Leon in the endgame chapter is like low-key the real final boss of Sacred Stones, because I find him so much more difficult to take out than the Demon King. Now, I have a plan to make Leon killing pretty easy. But he can be, like, on your first playthrough, I feel like Leon's a little scary. The other thing with the Demon King that makes him, like, less scary is that he doesn't actually attack on his first enemy phase. He just spawns a bunch of dudes. So you can totally do something like attack him with all of your units, and then like Latona next turn or something, because he doesn't attack on enemy phase the first time. Let me just check Siege Tomes. I don't know if there's one over here, because frankly, I don't usually stay on the map this long. But in this case, there are some things I want to do, so we're sticking around on the map for a minute. RSL S rank staves yet? Yep, so we're good to go there. Oh, it's a Tethys support. Neat. Yeah, I remember the first time I played FE7 as a kid, at the end of the game, I had almost no one left. The first time I beat it. Okay. Where are we on this Lance rank? Pretty close. We can get him to S rank Lances. And that's just going to make the last chapter just a teensy bit easier for us. We can actually just have him kill something here and then get him the last few hits that he needs on the, actually on the final map itself. There are some enemies we can fight at the beginning before we kind of get moving. Okay, I can get Mur one more level. I'm gonna warp over. I mean, I might fly Mur over, but Mur can't one-round the boss. So we're gonna fly Mur over, and then probably warp someone. I'm gonna have to do some math and figure out what our boss kill is, but it's gonna look like that. Okay, so Mur can park right there. Ephraim is such a Chad. Yeah, Ephraim definitely felt like, especially coming from FE7, Ephraim felt like such a powerhouse. You know, like you play FE7 and you think Hector is good, and then you play FE8 and you get Ephraim. There's Saleh. Gotta set up our warp. Oh, this space is not usable. Okay. What's your res? 31. Okay, so if we barrier you, you take nothing from that guy. Okay, let's do some quick math and see what we need to kill the boss. So we're gonna get 48 plus 24 from Myrrh, so that's 68, 72 damage. Here, let me open my little notepad for my math. We have 72 damage from Myrrh, minus 24. So she's gonna do 48 damage of his 66 health. Which will bring him down to 26 minus 8, 18. What's his avoid? Let me just check what her accuracy is going to be. He has 36 avoid. Okay, so she'll have 100 hit on him. Perfect. And then we just need to find 18 more damage. Can we get that off Sale Excalibur? It would be 18 times 2. It would be 36. We have 100 hit. Got 145 hit. Yep, so we'll have Lara Shell be our warper for today. Let me just make sure she has the range for that, but I believe she does. Yep, she'll warp Sale here. And she'll warp Erica. Do you have crit? You have 10 crit. You have 6 luck. Alright, so we're gonna give you the crit shield. Oh, and we need to barrier, so let's get a barrier over to Ewan. Make sure I'm not putting anyone in shadow shot range. Okay. Actually, can he use barrier, or is it C or D rank? Okay, he can't. That's fine. We can just have Lara Shell do it and take one more turn. Then she goes up to 38 res. He has 37 total attack. So she'll be fine. Okay. He goes here. Move the dancer down in case anything goes catastrophically wrong and we need to dance. But I believe... Or why am I saying catastrophically wrong? We're planning to dance. A dance is part of the plan. But first we gotta kill these things. I think this is fine. Like, she can just kill it. How many Thinguses do you have left? 23? So I'm gonna have to kill some of these guys to just to like make room. Because we need to warp here and we need to warp here. Fortunately, these guys can't kill Myrrh. She's still got 23 uses left on this stone, so... This is a fun treat for me. I don't usually kill Reeve. Because you do not have to. You can totally just seize the throne and end the map. And I think these guys spawn for a couple turns, so we'll just wait till they're done. I'm being a little cautious, because last time I got a little aggressive and like 4 units died, so I'm like mildly paranoid. You know, we're so close to the end. Oh my god, so many enemies. This map's annoying. I forgot that it did this at the end. Fortunately, Myr is functionally invincible, and we only need to hold on to... We need to end the map with at least 6 uses of the Dragonstone remaining. As long as we have at least 6, we are fine. But here, we can use this as an opportunity to get Cormag some more reps. This guy's got 14 speed. Once again, I really wish I had the check all enemy range button. It would be nice at a time like this. We're actually fairly excited about skill level ups on Myr, which seems weird because you don't think of skill as an important stat, but we do really need her to hit in the fights we have left for her to do. Or are you on Lance rank? Pretty close, right? Yeah. Gotta keep an eye on this so that I don't mess up. That's really the only thing that could go wrong still. Cormag is such a weenie when it comes to dealing with magic enemies. Imagine taking 14 damage from these guys. Alright, we are nearing the end of the reinforcements, I think. I think this is the last turn of Death Goyles. Hopefully this is the last turn of Death Goyles. There might be one more. It's either 2 or 3 turns of Death Goyles. Check Shadow Shot range. Joshua can take these guys out. Easy peasy. Want to keep him out of Death Coil range, but he doesn't care too much about these guys. Right, you've got decent res, yeah, 14. Yeah. Ooh, didn't realize Cyrene was in range. Good thing she's fine. That would have been sad if Cyrene died. Not that it would really matter. Her, like, the important parts of her job are essentially over, but... You know. Not trying to lose anyone. Good job, Cormag. Good, skill level up. So what are the deaths this run? Okay, so killed by chat were Seth, Vanessa, Mulder, and Natasha. Killed by me fucking up were Ford, Amelia, Loot, Dusel, what's his name? The thief that isn't Colm, Renak. So not a ton of deaths. We're doing pretty well. We were doing really well up until last chapter. We had a lot of deaths last chapter. We might as well use this Brave Axe. We don't get to... It's not like we can save it for the next run. Okay, that's a safe space for Cormag to attack. Nice, there's our S-rank lances for Cormag. Do a quick check for, oh, you have a steel bow. You have a hand axe. Okay. Yeah, gargoyles do not mess around in this game. I would say they are the scariest enemy type that you see a lot. I mean, I guess Draco zombies are scarier, but you don't see Draco zombies that often. Oh my god. Can we stop with the death coils already? I just want to finish the map. Hey, borrow that hand axe. Okay, now the spots we need to warp are actually available now, so we could set up the warp again. It's just this one death coil can, like, javelin La Rochelle. Can he kill her? He would be attacking on... It's got 14 speed. Okay, so he won't double. He's got 8 defense. he'll have 4 less knights, so he won't kill her. Will he have crit? He's got 7 crit. She has 18 luck. Okay, so we can set up the warp now. And then end the map next turn. And it is just the one that can reach that space, right? Yeah. Okay, and then 2 people she's going to need to warp. Oh my god, we can't do it next turn because Erica can't get into position. Maybe we can... We can get her into position. We'll just have to do like a funny take drop. Okay, then Ewan can just fly to safety. Murder needs to fly to where she can reach the boss, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, Cabs. Hey, Zachnate. Hope you guys are doing well. We are nearing the end of Darkling Woods. The dreaded Darkling Woods. We're raiding. I thought I was supposed to get a notification when people raided. Well, thank you for the raid. I assume that came from Cabs. Hope you had a good stream, Cabs.
I'm in the house like carpet.
Oh, thank you for the follow, NXXs. Much appreciated. Okay, I'm just gonna, like, put a unit, like, we're just gonna put some units next to La Rochelle, just to insulate her a bit, because she can take that javelin, but if she cannot take anything else. She can take just the javelin. An Ironman of the endgame dungeon would be pretty hard. What, Logdown? I have not done the Logdown ruins since I was a kid. Back then I did the whole thing though, because I wanted to unlock Leon as a playable character. So I did all of the tower, and then I did... Ooh! Okay, he's fine. Good. Good. And then I did Logdown Ruins like 3 times. You finished reading a book on stream? Well, what were you reading? Okay, I think this is fine. I believe we can finally end the map. Wait, no we can't. La Rochelle needs to be here, not here. Oh my god. Darkling Woods. My beloved. Howl's Moving Castle. I didn't know that. I did not know that had a book. I've seen the film. I swear to God, we're gonna get through this chapter eventually. I promise. The film is based on the book. Makes sense. Good job, Nami. Okay, we really just need to make room for this warp to happen. Good job, Cyrene. I was just saying how I think you're underrated, Cyrene, and this is how you repay me. Let me check your shadow shot range. Bonk. How are we doing on Dragonstone charges? Gotta be a little careful. Can't run out of those. Alright, so he's got 50. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to someone to rescue drop in it, because I assume this guy's got hands. Sort of. He's like got sort of hands. And that's chance of death for Erica, so we're absolutely not doing that, but frankly, I didn't think she would be able to one-round him. I'm mildly impressed at that. Okay. I desperately want to set up the warp for next turn. Thanks for stopping by, Zach Nate. Hope you have a good day. So let's try to set up the warp. Because I really want to just do the warp and be done with this map already. Let me check these guys' ranges, because I want to get Mer close, but I don't want to pull more enemies to block off more space. Cormag can take one hit from those eyeball, or 2 hits from those eyeballs. Good crit, and we'll physic him. I didn't just put him in shadow shot range, did I? I sure did. So we'll have to rescue him. Do I need a Twitch moderator? You know, I haven't thought about it much. I don't usually, since like, you know, obviously most of my like audience is aware of me from YouTube. So I don't like usually have that many viewers on Twitch. So it's not something I've given a lot of thought. Yeah, I appreciate the offer. I might take you up on that. All right, so we're gonna slide La Rochelle over here. We'll pop a barrier onto Joshua. I almost called him Jafar just now. That's a different game. And now he has 17 res, so if he gets shadow shotted, he'll be okay. Which I think means he can fight these guys now. Yeah, it would take pretty much a disaster for Joshua to die. Which I know is like famous last words. Oh, he didn't crit. Come on. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. We've got the great Garcia. Alright. So what we're trying to set up is we want... which, by the way, I'm accepting that in his name he might die. I don't really care. They are not involved in my plans for the final map. But we want Erica to be here. Assassin Marissa. Yeah, chat really wanted 3 assassins so that we could do the non-existent assassin triangle attack. Alright. We have a, okay, she's literally holding a pure water. Perfect. Great, great, great. Okay, and then I think if the moguls stop spawning, I think we're about ready to end the map if there aren't more moguls. There might be more moguls. That's definitely possible. Ooh, F in chat for Nami. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're so good. These enemies do not even realize how over it is. Oh, that's Ewan. I want Lara Shell. Perfect. He survives with 1 HP. He does 52, and then we'll just warp Saleh in to finish. This one's tragic. Okay. Don't attack. That would be a disaster. Saleh gets warped here. Easy Excalibur. Did he hit magic? No. I believe he has just enough magic for what we want him to do on the next map, though, so that's fine. Okay. So we're good, but we can maybe pick up a couple kills here. Not that we really need them for anything. I believe all of our units have the stats that they need for the rest of the game. Or which is to say, the 1 chapter remaining in the game. So yeah, Dulma has 10 uses, 24 uses on Garm. You guys can feel the end of an Ironman paranoia creeping in. Okay. Let's do some iteming real quick. Ormag gets Vidofnir. 1 sec. I'm gonna have to do some tile counting. So get ready for some tile counting, folks. I also have to check the, I think warp range is half your magic in this game, but I need to confirm that because it's important. Extremely important, actually. Binding Blade and Sacred Stones. Yeah, it's half your magic. So. We were to warp from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we have enough range. So what we're gonna do... Actually, let me just do the math on Mur and make sure she can do the Leon kill, but I'm pretty sure she can. So it's gonna be... 16 times 3, because she has effectiveness against him, is 48. Plus 29. That's 68 plus 9. 77. Speed of 17. His speed is 16, but he's weighed down like crazy, so she'll double him. He has a defense of 27. So she needs to hit twice, but she will. Do I need to worry about dodge? His avoid is 20. Her hit is certainly more than 20. His damage to her is 55. The 55 minus 34, 19. Okay, so she can take a hit easily. But I think we can even... We could even just give her a talisman. Because, what are we saving it for? That energy ring is for Saleh, for his warp range. Alright, so I'm having some faith that I did this math correctly in my 0% FE8 run. Because I'm going to use the same strat I used for this math as I did in my 0% run. Which I think should still work here, because now we have more stats. But it involves, we need 2 warps. So we need a dance, because both of the warps need to be Saleh. We need 2 warps, we need a Latona, and we need Mur to have Hoplon Guard. And we have all of those things. The other thing I need to check is what my most reliable method of killing this particular skeleton is. He has 22 avoid. Ormag with Vidofnir against him has 55 attack. But he'll kill him in 1 hit. He'll double him. His avoid's only 22. His hit with Vidofnir is high enough. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. Oh, and then let me just make sure I have, like, the correct units that I need for, the end game here. What we want is we want Garrick with Garm, Ephraim with Siegmund, Ormag with Vidofnir, Mur with Dragonstone, and Saleh with Excalibur. Okay. That's all the things. We're also going to kill these first couple skeletons that are going to come down and bother us. So we're going to take care of them so that they do not bother us while we set up our warp. here. We can, armor and warp one more time. That'll give us all the uses we need for the rest of the game. Oh, and then we have Joshua with Adulma, who is also going to be important. Not the skeletons. I think it's really funny that one of these chests has a promotion item in it. You know, in case you want to promote anyone on the very last map of the game. Pop Sale right here. Gonna get the units into position where they need to be. Cormac also needs to be up there because he's gonna be one of the people getting warped. You finally found a reason to potentially use that Master Seal? For what? I'm curious. Oh god. Oh, that would have been a disaster. Oh, you're doing your 0% promote all units run? We, I actually used that seal somewhat recently for, we were doing a relay, in which was like, basically, you play a chapter, there were 4 of us, and it was like, you play a chapter, you export the save, and you send it to the next person, and they play the next chapter. And we played the entire game that way, and we did an Ironman. And I did use that seal in the final chapter. Not for anything important, I just wanted to promote Kyle. I wanted to promote Kyle, and that was the last seal in the game. It was fun, and I was impressed that we managed to, I didn't think we would be able to do it without resetting. We were gonna do it where, like, if we had to reset, we weren't gonna, like... Basically, it was, we were gonna do a soft Ironman. So, like, if someone failed, whatever, we were just gonna restart and try again. But, like, if someone died and it wasn't a game over condition, we would keep going. But we never actually had to reset, and I was kind of surprised at that. I thought we were gonna have to at some point. I was proud of us for that. Especially because we were kind of sabotaging each other at the beginning. Like, someone killed Seth at the very beginning for no reason. Someone killed all of our staffers and sold all of our guiding rings at the beginning. And then at the end, we were like, oh, okay, we gotta, like, actually play the game now. Can't just try to screw each other the whole time. You go, Cyrene. Someone Lizard says to absolve himself of guilt. None of those were me. None of those sabotages were me, actually. Also, hi, Gleaming. Hope you're doing well today. Because I was, like, the 3rd or 4th person to go, so I got the save in, like... a state of disrepair, and I was like, oh my god, I need to not sabotage, because we need to be able to win this run. Like, I'm trying to think what my biggest sabotage was. I was trying to get us to do General Amelia, so I did do, like, the Amelia training arc and make her a knight, but then someone else had her second promo, so she got to be a great knight instead of a general, sadly. But yeah, that was a good time. I'll have to do another relay at some point and maybe, like, actually record it. But I remember doing the last map, because I had the final map. And that was, like, the most stress I've ever had playing Fire Emblem. Because I'm like, alright, we're on the last map. And, like, we did a whole thing, so everyone hopped in the call to, like, watch the final map. And I was like, oh god. It's not just my run. Everybody's run hinges on me not fucking up the final map. Have I ever gotten soft locked in FE before? I have not. I mean, I've had failed Ironmans, right? So, like, I've had runs where it became unwinnable due to constraints that I put on myself. But just like playing a normal run of Fire Emblem, I've never had a soft lock. And to be fair, I think most Fire Emblem games do a good job of stopping you from soft locking yourself. Like, I think there's only a couple games where you're, like, really, really liable to maybe soft lock. Like, hypothetically, you could soft lock in Thracia. I don't think it's that likely, but, like, you could do it. You played a bit of Mobile Suit Baba. Alright, you're gonna have to explain what that one is to me, because I know what Mobile Suit Gundam is, and I know what Baba Is You is. It's a cross between Baba Is You and Into the Breach? I'm gonna have to check the VOD, that sounds kinda crazy. Yeah, I think most Fire Emblem games do a good job of being designed in such a way that you that it's difficult to soft lock, which is a good thing. It's currently free on itch. Ooh, I might have to give it a download. Because I like Baba Is You and I like Into the Breach, so I'm sure I'll like both at the same time. Okay, we're gonna kill this guy, and then we're gonna set up our warp. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm correct about him having the range. Yep. So I'm pretty sure with the way that we have this set up, and the order that AI moves in, I don't think it's possible for Myrrh to die. I think it is possible for Korbag to die. But like I said, I'm relying on the way I set this strat up for 0% being smart. Because I am copying my 0% strat here. $18.36. Oh, I did my math slightly wrong. He doesn't actually kill him. I think she's fairly likely to crit on 1 of 4 attacks. But yeah, she doesn't actually quite kill him. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. But it could be. Yeah, because these guys move, a couple people are going to attack Cormag, and then Leon's going to attack Myrrh, I believe, before these Gorgons go. Oh, she didn't crit. Ooh! Okay, Cormag's probably going to die then. F. She needs to not get stoned. Cormag's not important, though. So if Myrrh does not get stoned, then we're fine. Still have 9 Dragonstone uses. Yeah. F in chat for best flyer. Hey, Vanessa died a while ago. Alright, what is your attack? 49. Okay. Let's go, Myrrh! And this is why I repaired the warp. It was just so that I could warp guys over to the Demon King here. Can Ephraim take a hit at base from this guy? No, absolutely not. Okay. I was going to say, because we have barely used him at all. Ooh, that 1% crit on Joshua. You hate to see that. If he crits Joshua on a 1%, I'll actually cry. Okay, we're fine. Alright, and then the beautiful thing about this boss is he's not even going to attack on enemy phase. Let's just keep our lords out of range. Do a quick Latona. Demon King crits go hard. I'm not even sure if I know what a Demon King crit looks like off the top of my head. Alright. Yeah, let's give the last hit to Myrrh. I feel like she's earned it. Will he do the sleep on turn 1 if too many of your team are around him? I'm not sure. I've never seen him do anything but the summon. Woo! We did it! Myrrh is a hell of a drug. Yeah, I mean, if you fail to kill him in the second round, I could see it becoming difficult. But, like, unless your team is in really rough shape, I don't know, like, why you wouldn't be able to do it in the second round. F-root next, or what's next? I gotta think about it. I was thinking about maybe doing another engage playthrough, but maybe like I've noticed like a concept I like that I've seen streamers do is like they do like the Wheel of Death playthrough, you know, where they like spin a wheel and someone dies every turn. But I kind of like the idea of doing like more like a Wheel of Suffering playthrough, where it's just like a wheel of inconveniences that you would spin for every map. So maybe one would be like no emblem rings this map, or like bench your best 3 units. I think something like that could be fun. So that might be the next Saturday stream. I've also been trying to think about, like, I thought it would be kind of funny if my dad is very much not a gamer. But I was thinking I could probably get him to, like, pick units and classes for me, and I think that could be kind of funny. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be engaged. Oh, does Bopper do this type of run? I have not watched his Fun is for Casuals run. The only Bopper run I've watched in its entirety is the Moneyball Birthright run, which was pretty funny. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my ludicrous turn count run. Seth got 13 wins before chat killed him. I like how he had hundreds of battles because it took that long for him to die in Chapter 4. Let's see who had the most wins. I think Joshua's going to be pretty high. I think Loot's going to be... Even though Loot died, I think Loot's going to be pretty high. Garrick will be pretty high. I think one of Joshua or Garrick is probably going to be the most wins unit. All right, 92 for Joshua. He never actually did a full playthrough. He just made a video titled something like A Deranged Way to Play Fire Emblem. Okay, that's good. That will make me feel less like I'm copying him. 50 on Cormag. $96 on Garrick. 0 on Tethys, naturally. 42 on Saleh, but that understates his importance. He was very important. 24 on Mur, 7 on Ephraim, 20 on Erica. Well, we did it. I had about like 20 more minutes booked on my schedule for this stream, so let's do this could be kind of fun. Let's do an Ironman FE8 character sorter for the rest of the time. Because now I've done a few Ironmans of this game, so I feel like I have some opinions. Your dead Natasha saw more action than I think she has in my entire experience with Sacred Stones. Poor Natasha. All right. We're gonna be ranking them in like how helpful I think they are to an Iron Man. So basically, we're gonna get like a funny tier list at the end. Why are engaged characters here? Hold on. Mainline games. Engage is checked by default. Sacred Stones. Click to start. Alright, so I have only done Erica Route Ironmans, so this is going to be like a list of, like, basically who I think is best in Erica Route, specifically. Here, we'll get some music going in the background, too. Oh, actually... That's crazy. They've got the music built in. Okay. Obviously, we're gonna rate characters above, like, characters that you can't play as, right? So, like, Kyle above Morva, obviously. Alright, Loot versus Franz. I actually think Loot is, like, better in an Iron Man context than a non-Iron Man context. But I still think Franz is better. Paladin 2 is good, and especially, like, here where we're not worried about, like, time, right? We're just worried about reliability. So, like, you got all the time in the world, you can train Franz up, and he'll be pretty good for you. Cyrene's better than Orson. Actually... Is Cyrene better than Orson? Cyrene is useful for about a map and a half. I think Orson is better than Cyrene. Because Orson fully carries one map for you. Joshua's better than Garcia. Garcia's mostly good in the early game for setting up kills for your other units. But then he doesn't have, like, too much of value to do for you later in the game. And he could be okay if you promote him into hero or whatever, but he's not standout. Joshua, well, he has limitations. He's footlocked. He's stuck on one range. But his combat's actually really good. For, like, pretty much the entire game. Like, we used him as like, in this run, we didn't have an adequate boss killer, so we used Joshua for it, and he did it well. Natasha's better than Rennick. Rennick sucks. He joins, you don't really need... Like, what are you stealing after Rennick shows up? I guess maybe you give him credit for the desert map or something. But other than that, he doesn't do much of import. Ross versus La Rochelle. I feel like... Like, this might be, like, I'm feeling like this is biased because, like, La Rochelle was important in my run since Natasha and Mulder both died. But the thing is, I feel like if chat didn't kill Mulder and Natasha, they weren't both gonna die. Like, I feel like I definitely wouldn't have needed a staff replacement unit. Like, for La Rochelle to see a ton of use, like, Artur, Natasha, and Mulder all need to die. Now, Ross isn't that good. But, like, he can, like, chuck a hatchet at things in the early game, whereas I feel like, barring, like, chat killing all of your healers, I just don't think La Rochelle is that good. I mean, certainly Seth over Nami. Kyle over Ewan. Paladin 2 is good. Kyle can do it basically for free. Franz versus Mulder. It's kind of interesting. I have, like, if you're playing fast, I have Mulder as, like, a top 5 unit in this game. Because he gets warp for free. Staffing is really good. But in this context, you have a lot of time. Like, if we don't care about turns, then, like, whoever can get to warp, right? Like, La Rochelle got to warp. La Rochelle got to Latona for us, because we didn't care about time. I think if you don't care about time at all, Franz is probably better. If you start caring about time, Mulder becomes pretty good. I don't think the early game healing is that important. Because, like, like, Seth just stomps the early game. It's not like he really needs a lot of staffing. Like, most of the staffing you do in the early game is, like, spamming Torch for ranks. I do think Boulder's better than Loot. Because, like, staffing is really good. Loot can sort of get to staffing, but it's a stretch to, like, promote her to Mage Knight and then start grinding up from what? I think it's E staves. Disgusting. Garrick over Null 100%. Summoning is a cute gimmick. It's nicer in an Ironman, actually. In fast playthroughs, I don't like summoning that much because I feel like you never actually need it, right? Like, there's not really a problem where you need to throw a summon at it instead of, like, throwing Seth or Garrick at it. But in an Ironman, they're kind of nice. If there's any, like, tricky rooms or anything that you're worried about, you can just throw a summon at it. Like, if you want to bait some enemy with high crit or whatever, and, like, I don't know, maybe your Hoplon guard is off somewhere else, you know, just slide that shit right over to a summon. Have a summon take the crit. But it's still not that good. Garrick's still better. Oh, right. I'm rating Orson as an actual unit. I still think Ford is better than Orson. He does the Paladin thing worse than Kyle and Franz, but not that much worse. Ephraim or Tethys? Tethys 100%. Dancing's good. I'm not actually that huge on Ephraim. Again, we're talking about Erica route, right? So he doesn't have, like, his mid-game power. By the time you get him, his stats, like, really aren't that impressive anymore, like, relative to your good combat units. Saleh over Inez 100%. Saleh comes with pretty good stats. He's got staff utility. It takes a little work to get him to warp, but especially in Erica route, we can definitely make that happen. Inez actually has good stats. Like, his stats are, like, not garbage, right? Like, you look at Garrick and then you look at Inez, and the stats aren't wildly different. But being Bolok just sucks in this game, man. Joshua Arter. I'm trying to think how much Arter is worse in an Ironman. In like a efficient context, Arter all the way, Arter all day. You can get him to 10, he gets staves, you can get him to warp, and he's got good magic combat, especially against the Erica route monsters. The reason I don't love Arter, specifically in an Ironman, is that his luck is Garbo. So he faces crit from, like, everything, which normally is not that big of a deal. Like, if Arter eats 3% crit over the course of a playthrough, normally who gives a shit, right? But in an Ironman, I kind of care. I still think Arter's better than Joshua, though. Staff utility is good. He does better combat than Joshua on, like, the monster route maps. He can help you deal with tricky enemies like the gargoyles in Reaping Darkness. But I do dislike the fact that he faces crit a lot. Erica over Marissa for sure. Both of them are kind of like weenie armed sword users, but Marissa is a weenie armed sword user that you get in the middle of the game instead of at the beginning of the game. Plus, the other reason Eric is better than Marissa, actually, is that like she's force deployed, right? So eventually, even if you don't use Erica at all, she promotes, she gets a horse, she gets her PRF weapon that can kill, like you saw, didn't train this Erica much, but she was still capable of, like, one-rounding some enemies at the end of the game. And I didn't ever do it that often because she's still not very bulky or anything. But even if you don't use her at all, you can occasionally find, like, some random enemy for Erica to kill with a Sieglind. Whereas Marissa, is not good. And, like, you have to train her if you want her to be. Colm or Natasha? The big thing that Colm has going for him is some stealables in the early game. He gets you an energy ring,
He gets you the Elysian Whip without having to worry about, like, holding a chest key from the Orson chapter. And those are, frankly, those two are his big contributions. Then, like, he's got random other stuff he can do, but you could buy chest keys, right? And there's not many important stealables in this game after that. I think I'm still going to give him the edge here, though, because those contributions are fairly unique. Like, if I don't use Colm, I'm just not getting that energy drop. Whereas if I don't use Natasha, like, whatever, I could just use Arthur or Mulder to staff, and they're better at it. So I'm going to give Colm the edge here. Versus Gilliam. Easy Mur. Gilliam's bad. Low move. He's not even that tanky. Like, you look at him and you're like, oh, he's like slow and tanky, and that's not valuable because enemies are weak in Sacred Stones. But he's not even that tanky. Like, you compare him to other units and he's not that much more durable. Cormag versus Dusel. I mean, easy Cormag, right? Especially in Erica route, because you get Cormag before Dusel. Cormag is weaker in Erica route, for sure. And I would say his biggest problem... He's got two big problems, and they're both annoying in Erica route. One is that he would kind of like a speed wing. And I guess there's not that much competition, but, like, that could go to Garrick or Seth if he missed some speed level ups. In an Ironman context, the annoying thing about Cormag is that his hit's not great. And you saw that in Darkling Woods. He was looking at a lot of like 70 to 80 hit rates that were kind of annoying. But he's still a flyer with like solid combat. Whereas Dusel joins as like, you know, chapter 15. There's not that much left of the game. And he doesn't stand out relative to, like, the other combat units you have. Like, you have, like, a trained Garrick at that point, you know? I'm going to say Cormag. Ross over Amelia, 100%. Both of them are, like, kind of annoying to train, but Ross is kind of annoying to train when enemies are absolute trash. And the hatchet is nice. Amelia has to deal with using a javelin for 1-2 range, and the enemies all one-shot her. Is Erica Dusel higher level than Ephraim? I'm not sure. I'd have to check. La Rochelle versus Amelia. I'm going to say... I don't know why I'm thinking about this. It's definitely La Rochelle. Both of them are, like, under-leveled, but at least La Rochelle can just use staves, right? Amelia can't really do much for you. Seth over Kyle. Seth's going over everyone, just to be clear. Kyle over Naomi. He can be a paladin. He can, even if you don't make him a paladin, right? Like, if you're just like, I'm just going to use Kyle for temporary cav utility and then, like, bench him later, that's better than what Naomi's going to do for you. And it's not even just a bowlock problem for her. Her stats aren't good either. Her low strength is a problem. I would put her over Ewan, though. These are two units that, like, I basically want to be doing nothing. But maybe Naomi, like, hits a wall with a bow or something. Or, like, chips someone to set up a kill for somebody else. Whereas, like, what are we doing with Ewan, you know?
I'm in the house like carpet.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Tyrant Lord Valvatorez. And good name. I love me some Valvatorez. Hey, Audrey, too. Cyrene did survive the Ironman. She made it to the end. Vanessa over Franz. Vanessa's role is less replaceable than Franz's. Even if you have Franz as, like, the best paladin, which is, like, debatable depending on what you value. Being able to fly is just too good in the early game. And it's not replicable until you get Tana. And Tana comes at level 4. Let's see. Garrick versus Ford. Huh. This is kind of tricky. I feel like Paladin, like the second Paladin that you have besides Seth, is really good. And it's like probably a more important overall role than Garrick, but he's like the third best at it. Whereas Garrick is going to be one of your better combat units. And is less replaceable, I feel like. So I'm going to say Garrick. Ford is better than Null, though. Null's role is also difficult to replace of summoning, but I don't think summoning's that good. It's fun, but like it's usually there's a better solution or at least another solution to your problem than summoning. Is summoning better than Orson? I'm going to say no, because I think of Null as being primarily useful on kind of the same map Cyrene is useful for, and I put Orson over Cyrene. Ooh, Cyrene versus Null, interesting. Summons can always bait out, but like the thing is, so can like whoever else, right? Like Garrick can bait, or Seth can bait. Like enemies are never strong enough that like you have to use a summon to bait. And it's usually better to bait with somebody else, because like if you bait with Seth, great, you've baited the enemy and like probably Seth killed him. Cyrene versus Null is interesting. I think their biggest map for both of them is Egg Map. But then Cyrene is also useful for like flyer dropping on Darkling Woods, so I'm going to give her the edge slightly. Namey is goated if Arena is allowed. Well, if you allow Arena, then it's just like, I feel like there's like not that much point in like evaluating units, right? Like you just look at join time and growth rates, and it's like, all right, whoever has like the best endgame stats is the best unit. So that's why I don't usually include Arena or Tower for that matter. Unless like, I know some like LTCs and deficiency playthroughs think about Tower now, where it's more about like how much you can get out of 1 or 2 trips to the tower. Whereas Namey would need like quite a few trips to the tower before she like really starts popping off. Tethys over Dazla. Dancing's really unique, really powerful. Dazla is like a filler berserker. Ephraim, ooh, in Ephraim route, still Ephraim over Dazla. He gets some force deploy chapters where you can have him hit something with his funny lance. Dazla's just not that good. Saleh versus Artur. I feel like it's Saleh. He doesn't have to deal with the crit issue. He comes ready to go. It's Erica route, so he comes like in a timely manner. Like he comes in chapter 12. There's plenty of game left when he shows up, so I'm gonna put Saleh over Artur. Artur over Inez though. Staffing and Slayer combat in the monster route maps is more important than what Inez does. Although Inez does have kind of a niche in these maps where gargoyles and death goyles can be kind of scary, especially if Seth didn't hit his speed levels, and Inez can help you with that. But it's not that important. Because Seth probably will hit his speed levels. He is more likely to be able to kill those gargoyles than not. Joshua's better than Inez. Joshua comes at a time where like all of your units except Seth are project units, and he arrives and he just kills stuff. He continues killing stuff for the whole game. And 1 range lock is better than 2 range lock. Ooh, Garcia versus Inez. I think it's Garcia. Inez has like better stats, right? Like he joins and he has pretty good stats. But 2 range lock means he can't enemy phase. Garcia has those early game chapters where he's actually kind of useful because you can use some guy that's beefy and can set up kills for people. Inez never really has chapters where you're like, man, I really want to deploy Inez, but there are early game chapters where you're like, yeah, I do want to deploy Garcia. Colm over Erica, for basically the reasons I said earlier. That energy ring is better than that energy ring that he steals is better than Erica's combat. Joshua better than Franz, better Aldwuma user. Okay, I mean, Joshua is definitely a better Aldwuma user. But I would say overall, Franz still gets like all of the horse utility. He's got 1-2 range. There's a lot going for Franz besides like being able to use the Adulma. Natasha over Erica, staff utility's good. Renak versus Erica. I'm gonna put Erica over Renak. I really don't think Renak is very important. You can use him to fight some random axe enemies, but like, he's just not. There's nothing you need to use Renak for. I do think he's better than Marissa though. Mur versus Tana. This might be like, I know people really like Mur these days, and I can understand why, because like you can look at the end of the run we just did, right, where Mur was hugely important. She killed a bunch of bosses. She was basically invincible. But she only gets 50 attacks. She's only at the end of the game. It's not like other units can't do the boss killing. That Leon kill is actually somewhat unique to Mur. Other units can do it, but it's less reliable. But Tana is still a flyer for, like, the bulk of the game. And flying utility is really good. And I think more important than what Mur does at the very end of the game. Especially since a lot of that is, like, replaceable utility. Whereas Tana's kind of is too. You could use Vanessa, you get Cormag, but there's a lot of maps where like you just want multiple flyers. Like Egg Map, you want all the flyers you can get, right? Definitely Cormag over Ross. Interestingly, combat-wise, they suffer from like some similar problems. They can both have hit issues, they can both have speed issues, but Cormag's on a Wyvern. And he comes a lot closer to ready to go than Ross does. Definitely Dusel over Ross. Ross wishes he had those Dusel bases. Even in Erica route where he joins later, he's still just a fine like filler combat unit that takes no effort to get going. He's got a horse too, which is nice. Seth over everybody. Vanessa over Kyle for similar reasons as to why I put Vanessa over Franz. Her flyer utility is a lot less replaceable. When you do get a replacement, that replacement is considerably lower level than her. Probably. You know, depending on if you trained her or not, but like potentially significantly lower level. And there's less replacements. Like if you want to replace Franz, you have like 2 options pretty much right away. You have Ford and you have Kyle. If Vanessa dies, you just have Tana, and you really like feel that loss because there's maps where you want multiple flyers. I think in an Ironman, if we aren't caring about turns, if we're just talking about like, I just want good units to get me through the run and do good combat, I would say Franz is better than Kyle. The thing that Kyle has going for him that's nice in an Ironman is that he's pretty bulky. So like, if you fuck up, and like position him a little too aggressively, he's more likely to survive than Franz. But Franz can actually like one-round some things potentially that Kyle never will. Like Kyle has trouble doubling some enemies that Franz can double. And Franz won't necessarily one-round them. He needs to like either hit some strength level up, so you gotta grind that sword rank so he can use a steel sword. But there's potential there. Mulder also better than Kyle. Staff utility good. Kyle's better than Loot though. Being like the second best paladin option is better than being like Artur's replacement. But Loot over Navy. Garrick and Tethys. Definitely Tethys. Garrick has really good combat. Stellar combat, actually. But being able to refresh a unit is really strong. There's no replacing it. And, like, it's not even just about mobility and combat. It's about, like, multiple staff units, right? Like, if at the end of the run, right, where we had a bunch of staff users die, we were still able to do 2 warps and a Latona, and we were only able to do that because of Tethys. Your hot take is that Franz, Kyle, and Ford are the same unit. I think in an efficient context, that's basically true. In my, like, efficiency tier list, I believe I ranked them Kyle, Franz, Ford, but they're all, like, right next to each other on the tier list. But Franz can actually do some combat that, like, Kyle can't do if he gets experience. But the reason I don't like Franz in, like, the more efficient contexts is because, like, that experience is not free. There's other people that want that, whereas Kyle and Ford get, like, a chapter of essentially free experience in the form of 5x. In Erica route, Garrick is definitely better than Ephraim. Both of them are just, like, good combat guys, but Garrick's it for a lot longer. I would say Ford is better than Ephraim in Erica route too, because he gets that whole mid game where he can be a paladin. Ephraim is better than Orson. He's useful in 5x, and then like he's also useful when you get him back. He promotes. He gets his funny lance. I think Orson is better than Dazla though. I think carrying you in one chapter is like more than Dazla ever does. Dazla versus Cyrene's kind of interesting. Because Dazla has a lot of random combat he can do. Like, you can have him go kill gargoyles on Village of Silence or whatever. But the contributions are really, like, not unique. Like, you could send whoever to do that, really. Whereas Cyrene does, like... Being a flyer is somewhat unique. Like, there's not an infinite supply of them. But it's really only important for, like, 1 map and a half. So I think Dazla's larger volume of replaceable contributions is, like, more important than Cyrene's, like, kind of less replaceable, but much less voluminous contributions. Yes, Molder's a great design. Who actually uses Cyrene. I mean, you don't, like, train Cyrene. You use Cyrene to kill an egg and then, like, flyer drop someone in Darkling Woods. Colm versus Saleh. Saleh is better than the energy ring that Colm provides. So is Artur. So is Joshua. This is the first one that's kind of close. Would I rather have the Chapter 7... I think it's Chapter 7. The Chapter 7 energy ring, or would I rather have Garcia? I think I'd rather have the energy ring. Saleh is hot. I agree. He was also, when I made my tier list of Fire Emblem 8 characters that that would smoke weed, I put him in the Dream Blunt rotation tier. Staves are better than Garcia. Garcia's filler combat and early game bulk, I think, is more important than Erica's combat. Here's the thing about Erica. I really feel like there's almost no important combat that Erica has to do. Maybe you find something for her to do in the end game with her Sieglinde. But, like, there's never a time where you look at a map and you're like, ah, yes, this is a job for Erica. And that means I'm probably going to put her under, like, any combat unit that can make similar filler contributions, but also, like, maybe does something unique or has more filler contribution. Erica route, these units are kind of interesting. Because you could hypothetically, like, grab Tana and train her up before Cormag. But I think probably Cormag is going to be better than Tana unless you really heavily invested in her by the time he shows up. So I'm going to give it to Cormag. Tana's better than Dusel, though, in Erica, right? He just takes too long to show up. I mean, I definitely think you can train Erica if you want, right? Like, we could get her as many levels as we want, but, like, you get her a bunch of levels, and then, like, what does she do? She's just, like, I feel like you get her a bunch of levels, and she's, like, worse Joshua. Myrrh definitely over Dusel and Erica route. The availability difference is very low, and Myrrh is bonkers for the time that she's around. Gilliam sucks. There's, like, actually nothing you need Gilliam to do. Like, even if you're just doing, like, the I want a bulky unit to take a hit and chip an enemy in the early game, you just use Garcia. He's better than Amelia, though. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of random places Erica can find EXP on her route, because, like, basically all of the places where I like to use Joshua, you could use Erica, but, like, I don't know, Joshua just comes with better stats. And with the ability to use the killing edge, Erica actually has to like get her weapon rank up to use the killing edge. Ooh, Vanessa or Tethys is interesting. In an Ironman, I feel like it's Tethys. Like, if we don't care about turns. There's, like, other flyers. But this gets us more staff uses, more combat, maneuverability. It lets us fix mistakes. Although Vanessa also lets you fix mistakes, because, like, you can, like, flyer rescue Kanto out. But I don't know. I think if I were to do another FE8 Ironman and you were like, would you rather have Tethys or Vanessa? I think I would say Tethys. Vanessa's better than Garrick. Flying for the whole game is better than, like, great combat, but not even the best combat. That's the important thing to note with Garrick is, it is not the best combat. It's just very good combat. Which I think puts him below, like, a lot of, like, the utility units. Like, even Franz, I would say, like... I don't know. In an efficient run, yeah, your second Paladin is better than Garrick. If I don't care about turns, though, how much more do I value Garrick's better combat? Maybe I do value that more than second Paladin. I think I do. You still need more than one combat, realistically. You do, but the second combat unit doesn't usually have to be that good. Like, on a lot of maps, you just send Seth to go do the difficult work, and then, like, there's, like, Moguls or, you know, whatever for you to kill. But even then, it's not like... Like, I don't know. Obviously, Garrick's combat is great. It's very good. But, you know, your second Paladin's combat is also going to be pretty good. Cormag's combat is pretty good. Then you get, like, Dusel and stuff, and they're pretty good. So it's not like there's, like, no other combat units you could use. In situations where one range is fine, Joshua's, like, just as good. Franz over Ford for the same reasons I put Franz over Kyle. I would put... Well, I don't know. I'm gonna say Mulder. Kyle's better than Ford. He just has some slight statistical edges. In an Erica mode Ironman, I would rather have Loot than Ephraim. I think Ephraim really doesn't have much important to do on Erica route. Loot, I feel like it's overshadowed because, like, Artur kind of, like, does it better. But being able to go Mage Knight, have good magic 1-2 range, and then staff utility is still pretty good. And in an Ironman, it's, like, kind of nice. Like, one edge she has over Artur is, I mentioned earlier that Artur gets crit by everything. Loot doesn't. Which is kind of nice in an Ironman. Ephraim's better than Naomi, though. Most units are better than Naomi. Ooh, Saleh versus Cormag. In Ephraim route, it's 100% Cormag, but in Erica route, I think it's Saleh. You get him sooner. Cormag's stats are, like, comparatively a little worse for his join time in Erica route. Whereas Saleh joins and he's cooking and he's got staff utility. Saleh. I think Artur... Ooh, is Artur better than Cormag? Yeah, maybe not. I think I'd go Cormag. Same with Tana. I think just being a flyer for so long is a little better than what you're getting out of Artur. And I am penalizing him for facing that crit all the time. I would take Artur over Myr, though. Ooh, Myr versus Joshua is kind of interesting. They're both one-range combat gods. Joshua for a longer period of time, but Myr better for the period of time that she's doing it. And I really like that she makes that last chapter reliable and easy. I think Myr over Joshua. I think in Erica route, Joshua over Dusel. In Ephraim route, it would be Dusel over Joshua. But like, Dusel's combat doesn't stand out in Erica route. Joshua's does. And he's around for longer. I would even maybe say Colm. Oh, I don't know. It's just an energy ring. Maybe Dusel is better than that. Oh, the father-son battle. I would say Garcia is better. It takes a long time. Like, if you're using both of them, it actually takes a while for Ross to equal his father. But I think both of them are best used in kind of a more short-term role anyway. And Garcia is better at that. Ross is not enough better than Garcia to make up for him being worse for so long. And not having, like, that valid short-term use case. Better chance for better growth. But, like, the thing is, his growths aren't that good. Because, like, this is the problem with trainees in Sacred Stones, right? Like, you have all of these extra levels for them to grow. Well, really, you have 10 extra levels for them. But their growths aren't that good. So, like, usually they get their 10 extra levels and they're, like, not that much better than, like, a unit that just started, like, at that level in that class. I don't know. I'm a bit of a trainee hater, to be honest. Even Ross's efficiency niches, like, yeah, there's the river trick, but it's just, it's a one-turn reliability save on one map. You know, it's not like, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, also, like, in an Ironman context, you probably don't care about the river walk. I would say Erica probably finds more random areas to contribute in her force deploy chapters than Ross. I would put Ross over Renak, though. He can do stuff in the early game with the hatchet. Like, if you train him, he's, like, about as good as Dazla, right? And Dazla is better than Renak. You do have to train him, but, you know, you can. I think Filler Staff is better than Filler Thief. Gilliam sucks. Oh my god. Battle of Mid. Is Gilliam better than Marissa? My gut says yes. Because he can kind of do it. Like, he's worse at the Garcia role in the early game, but he can do it. Marissa just doesn't have much that she, like, can do without, like, a bunch of babying. These are both, like, big project units. Marissa's a little easier to get off the ground. I would rather use Amelia, because, like, if I'm gonna use, like, a shitty project unit, like, I might as well use the fun one, but I think Marissa's probably slightly better. Tethys over Saleh. Vanessa over Saleh. He's really good, but he does come in the middle. I think Saleh is better than Garrick, though. Both of them provide, I would say, like, Garrick provides great combat, Saleh provides good combat, but I think the staff utility from Saleh makes up for the gap in their combat. So for me, it's Saleh. Garrick's got better combat than Cormag, but Cormag flies. Once again, I think the flight utility probably makes up for the gap in combat. I would put Garrick above the third best flyer, though. I would rather have Garrick than Tana. Same with Franz. Same with Mulder. So this is interesting, because these are, like, both replacement units. I don't want to... I could tie them, but that feels like a cop-out. I I'm really not sure. I'm going to say Tana is better because, like, they're both replacement units. I would say Kyle is better at replacing your Paladin than Tana is at replacing your Flyer. But the Flyer is more important than the Paladin. But I think that one's kind of close. Paladin's more important than Bishop. Arter is better than... because he has Slayer for the monster maps. And he gets that higher staff rank in Bishop. Mur versus Loot. I don't know. I put Arter above Mur. But Loot's a little worse than Arter. Because she has to start at a lower staff rank. And, yeah, basically, that's basically the only I have her lower than Arter. Starts at that lower staff rank. Which I think means I like her better than Mur. Because I like Arter better than Mur. So I think I like Loot better than Mur, too. Mur's better than Ephraim, though. Both come back for the last half of the... or the last bit of the game, but Mur's better than Ephraim. Both of these guys just provide footlocked combat most of the time. Joshua's around for a lot more of the game. Dusel versus Ephraim. I'm pretty sure an Erica route Dusel is just better than Ephraim, unless you gave Ephraim, like, a bunch of 5x EXP. You guys are going to find out I don't like Ephraim very much in Erica route. Staffs are better than late game combat. I would say Ephraim's late game combat is probably better than what you get out of Garcia in the early game. But I'll put Garcia above Orson, but I actually think that's, like, kind of arguable. Because for Garcia, it's like a bunch of small contributions, and then Orson has, like, one pretty big contribution. But I don't want to put too many units below Orson. That being said, Orson is better than Erica. Oslo is better than Erica too. Is have more opportunities without needing like a bunch of experience. Over the course of a run, I feel like you probably find more random little things for Erica to do than what Cyrene does for you in Egg Map. This one is like, you could potentially train Ross to be a filler unit that makes a bunch of replaceable contributions, versus Cyrene can do a couple somewhat replaceable contributions. I'm going to give the edge to Ross, I think. I'll put La Rochelle over Cyrene. If we're not worried about time, she can get that staff rank up. Rennick sucks. Rennick is better than Navy, though. Ooh, Gilliam or Nami? I feel like it's Gilliam. Like, if you didn't have Garcia, you would maybe use Gilliam to do some stuff. There's really not much Nami needs to do. Like, she hits a wall. Even if you train her, she's not very good. Neither is Gilliam. But I feel like he's a little better in the early game. I'm gonna put Nami above Marissa, I think, though. Because she does have, like, a couple, like, random opportunities to chip an enemy in the early game or something. A lot of people put Ewan at the bottom, but I find him less painful to train than Amelia. Because Amelia's stuck on javelins, or you gotta, like, box in an archer or something. Ewan can just hit people with fire. All right, let's look at our list and see if it's too crazy. We got Seth, then Tethys, then Vanessa, then Saleh, then Cormag, then Garrick, then Franz, then Mulder, then Tana, Kyle, Ford, Arter, Loot, Mur, Joshua, Dusel, Colm, Natasha, Ephraim, Garcia, Init, Orson, Dazla. Ephraim might actually be a little too high. I feel like Ephraim is worse than Garcia. I feel like Ephraim's worse than Orson. Dazla, Erica, Ross, La Rochelle, Cyrene, Noel, Rennick, Gilliam, Nami, Marissa, Ewan, Amelia. Yeah, it gets a little messy at the middle and end. I think the top 10 is pretty okay, though. Like, let me think. Is anyone in the top 10
Does anyone in the top 10 not belong in the top 10? I think maybe this section could be like, you could rearrange this section a bit. Depending on how much you value, like, your time, you could maybe move Mulder up a bit. But I don't think, this isn't too bad. I'm okay with the results here. Alright. Well, we finished the Ironman, guys. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed. I think next week we will be, or actually next week there's not going to be a Saturday stream because I'm going to be out of town. There will be a Tuesday stream. We'll be doing FE4 as usual. And then no Thursday or Saturday stream because I'll be traveling for the holidays. But after that week, we'll be back to the usual Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I hope you have a great holiday. Those of you that celebrate Christmas, hope you have a great Christmas. And for the rest of you, have a lovely month and any holiday you celebrate. See you later, folks.